If you want to know what it feels like to be on an antidepressant, let me tell you. So, you know how you have really bad anxiety? Like, I have really bad anxiety right now. I'm very anxious, but I don't feel anxious. Like, I don't feel it, but I know I have really bad anxiety right now. Like, right now, I have anxiety, but I don't feel anything. And, like, I'm just here.
When starting an antidepressant, you need to be careful. Here's why. This is what most people think it looks like when you start an antidepressant. Full of blue, right? But it doesn't. It looks like this. Full of nothing. That creates an issue because when you start your antidepressant, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to be able to start feeling feelings again because it's not empty. And you might add in some of the red feelings, and you might add in some of the blue feelings. See, now when you first start feeling feelings after you haven't felt them in a while, that's going to give you pause to make mistakes, to have problems, to new intricacies, right? So this is why it's important that you have a therapist, you have people you talk to, you have people around you that you're working with more than just the antidepressant. Because as you add new feelings to this, it can bring problems that come along with it. Because this time you will add the blues and the reds, which of course are not always great either. But over time, if you stay on your antidepressant, you can add more feelings. And as you talk to your therapist, to your friends, to whoever you need, you add more and more feelings. And in the long run, being on that antidepressant helps a lot. But there is a short run problem, which means because it starts out at nothing and we're adding feelings you're not used to, make sure you have a whole team in place. Don't just start the antidepressant and think everything's going to be okay. That's when everybody runs into problems. That's how feelings jars work.
I have really bad anxiety, and I love Lexapro because it makes me not give a shit about shit. I definitely used to be that person who would ruminate on a bad situation for like hours, like it was festering in my brain. And with Lexapro, it's kind of like I just don't worry about things anymore, almost to a fault. I always say my house could be on fire and I'd be casually strolling out, picking out a cute outfit, putting on some makeup as my house is burning to the ground and walk out the last minute. That's how calm, cool, and collected Lexapro makes me feel. A lot of people also ask about the sex drive part of this. My personal experience is that, yeah, I was killed a little bit in the beginning, but then it came back. So don't be too worried about that. A common question I get is, did I gain weight? No, but I know that some people do gain weight on it. It just wasn't my experience. Another question I get is, how long did it take to kick in? Again, that varies from person to person. But for me, it took about 3 weeks to start feeling a difference and about 6 weeks to not give a fuck. Lexapro is a prescription medication used for anxiety and depression. I'm on it for my anxiety, and I just used to be that person who would like fester and ruminate on a situation, and I would just get this anxious feeling like in my stomach and my head, and it was just so bleh. I mentioned that it's prescription only, so obviously go talk to your doctor if you're interested. Like, you need to get like it prescribed by a doctor, and obviously follow the directions they give you. Like, don't go freestyling. All right, have a great day. Bye.
I've been on Lexapro for almost 3 years now, and I want to talk about how it genuinely changed my life. I've heard a lot of mixed things recently on TikTok of people talking about Lexapro, and I can only speak for myself, but say that it helped me tremendously. Like, Lexapro made my life, like, and my quality of life probably 1,000 times better. I've been dealing with anxiety almost my entire life, but I don't think I ever realized what that was. I kind of just blamed my mood swings and everything on just myself and just being a dramatic person. But once I got on Lexapro, I realized that me lashing out on people and me being so irritable all the time wasn't like who I was. It was the fact that I was so anxious constantly that anyone who like bothered me, I would just have to like go off and start crying and whatever, because I was just so wound up, and Lexapro completely took that away from me. I felt like after getting on Lexapro, I was finally able to look at things happening in my life and be like, you know what, okay, this isn't the end of the world, like this is a little problem, and like we'll deal with it, instead of like every little thing happening in my life being like literally the end of the world. And I personally was someone who was scared to start taking medication for something like anxiety at first. I just was like, no, like this is something I can deal with my own, like I don't want to be medicated for this. And once I tried it, one of the first things my mom said to me after like a week of being on it is like, I finally see you being yourself again. She's like I feel like I have my daughter back. And I know people are very worried about the side effects. For me personally, I didn't deal with anything. Like, I didn't have weight gain. I didn't, like, lose all my emotion entirely. Like, I just genuinely feel like I am myself again. And at the end of the day, I feel like if you're someone who's kind of nervous about taking it because of the mixed things you heard, I feel like worst comes to worst, you try it and you can always stop taking it. For me personally, I was like, you know what? Like, if I don't like it, I'll just stop taking it. But for me, it worked so well that I've been on it ever since.
I've been on Lexapro for about 4 months, so I think it's time for another update. I did do a 1-month update, so now I want to do a more well-rounded, more thought-out update of how I feel on Lexapro. First and foremost, it is so crazy. You don't even realize how much you're suffering on a day-to-day basis and how much pain you are in and how much sadness and loneliness and doom you feel until you no longer feel it. I guess I just sort of assumed life is just miserable, but it's the only mindset I knew. I feel like one thing that Lexapro has like indirectly done for me is allow me to see a different perspective of like life isn't just all pain. Like I've had enough of a break from like the sense of doom and the horrible sadness that my head is able to logically think. I almost feel like it's kind of hard to explain how Lexapro works or like what is different, especially once you've been living on it more. At first, it was really obvious to me. Like there was key things that were so different. And then as time's gone on, I've just gotten used to living in a level-headed, like, dare I say, happy mindset, which is crazy that I'm able to say that. The way I explain it to other people is you notice that Lexapro is working at random times in random, small, little ways. Most recently, I was at the movies and I have emetophobia, which is the fear of vomit. It's really a strange fear because it's not even like I'm actively like, throw up is terrifying. Like I've kind of gotten over that where I've like been able to be like, nothing about throwing up is scary. Logically, I know that. Still, my body, my palms would sweat, I would shake, my heart would race, I would get a little bit sweaty, I'd kind of get like flushed. I'd have like a physical reaction, like my body would go into fear, like fight or flight, panic, fear mode. Like I guess a sort of panic attack in a way. I've had that my entire life. I was at the movies recently and someone started throwing up on the screen and I had no physical reaction. I just didn't panic. And it's little things like that where it's just randomly, I'm like, oh. I would wake up and every day would be a bad head day. Like I'd feel like a cloud was looming over my head. Everything just felt gray. And I mean like my whole life, you guys, like as long as I can remember. And it just intensified as I got older. And sometimes I would have a good day. Now it's like every day is a good day and sometimes things happen and the day's kind of like not the best and I will feel stressed or I'll cry. Things that happen don't feel like they take over my life anymore. Also, anytime I would feel any sort of like extreme stress or extreme emotion, I would immediately result to, I only know one solution. I can't fathom feeling this way anymore. I have to do that. That's how I always lived. It was like, I know exactly what's gonna happen. I need to wait until I can't take it anymore. But I'm almost there. Like that's how I always felt. I always felt like I was almost there. And now it's just crazy because I can't even understand how I was ever there. I feel an extreme emotion and it's like, this sucks. This emotion sucks. But I'm not like, oh, I gotta go. So that's my update. I don't know. There's a lot of negative things about Lexapro out there. Let me be your silver lining. I have had nothing but an amazing experience with it. And if you're considering trying an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety or anything, just try it. You might not even know how much pain you're in.
Okay, so you know those days when you're just down in the dumps, you're down bad, you want to be unalived as soon as possible, and then you're like, wait, I have this little happy pill, my antidepressant, Miss Paroxetine herself, and then I take her, and then I remember that I'm the baddest bitch on the planet and I could climb Mount Everest. I don't know. It's like, that's why I take that. So that's why I take that. Okay. Somebody listen to me. This needs to like do good and go viral because it can help so many people. If you're struggling with your mental health medication or anything like that, listen to this video. My psychiatrist prescribed me a test that you swab inside of your cheek. You do a gene test and it matches your genotype, your brain chemistry to the best possible antidepressant and or Adderall. And antipsychotic. Obviously on antidepressants, on Adderall, and I have been through a million because I always have some type of side effect, whether it's weight gain, sleepiness, Adderall makes me fucking crazy, it gives me too much anxiety, literally whatever it is. I just picked up my lovely new prescription from CVS. Hopefully I get some serotonin rolling because I am going crazy. But people need to ask your psychiatrist about this because I know so many people that have actually been through so many different medications, nothing works for them. This gave me like a top 5, then it gave me like middle column, like this is okay with me, whatever, and then a red column. And like I've literally been on ones in the red column. I'm sure you have been on ones in your red column. So ask your psychiatrist or doctors about this. Get yourself fixed because goddamn I've been waiting to get my ass fixed. I'm so excited about this and this will be my first day trying it, so fingers crossed. Hoping for the best. I hope you guys get the best too because you deserve it, and I just wanted to tell you about this because I know there's more people out there that needs this right now that aren't even hearing about it because I didn't hear about it. I've been on meds since I was like fucking 14. Get your money up, not your funny up, call that doctor and get on those right meds.
I just saw this TikTok and I couldn't stitch it about Lexapro, and I just wanted to literally make a video about how Lexapro has literally changed my life. It was a girl sitting there and said that Lexapro silenced everything. It does. It's probably the best thing that I have ever been put on. I don't really have emotions sometimes about things that don't really matter. I kind of am just like living life kind of carefree, I would say. It's made me so much more carefree. Like I don't overthink. My anxiety is not bad. I'm able to wake up and actually run errands versus like fighting to get out of bed every day. There are some like side effects though. Like when I first started taking it, I didn't really sleep. If you want to have sex, like your sex drive is down. But yeah, like Lexapro, if you were thinking about getting on it, if you were scared to take it, I recommend it. Like, it's quite honestly changed my whole life.
2 weeks ago, I went into my doctor's office and I said, listen, I think I need to get off my antidepressant because ever since I got on them, my anxiety is better, but it feels like there's this wall here. I can't enjoy anything. I'm not interested in the world. And I went on to describe some things and he sat there for a minute and he goes, okay, maybe we actually go up. And then he doubled my dose. And 2 weeks later, I've got gems on my face and my balloon animal earrings on again. A doctor was right. That was wild! I'm gonna mark it in my calendar.
3 days ago, I stopped taking antidepressants. I've been on antidepressants for nearly 4 years, and I came off them once. It didn't go very well. I had to go back on them because I became really depressed and really anxious, and that's what they're good for. They take away a lot of depression and anxiety. They smooth over the experience of depression and anxiety. They take it out of the mind, but they can't take it out of the body. And this is why I've decided to stop taking them. I don't feel like I'm in a body anymore. And this is a very common thing that people on antidepressants experience. They feel numb. They feel like there is nothing happening inside. And this is what I've felt for months now. Not all the time, you know. I feel fine a lot of the time. It's hard for me to get out of bed. My thoughts are okay. I'm not having really dark thoughts about my future and about the future of the world and my relationships. But in my body, I'm feeling these things. And I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy for so long, once a week for years. And it's so frustrating because you can try so hard. You can do all of these things and swallow a tablet every day. You can talk to a therapist. You can talk to your friends all the time about how you're feeling. You can write about them. You can journal. You can exercise. But a lot of the time it's not enough. Or a lot of the time it doesn't work. Or a lot of the time it's not answering the question that isn't being answered on the inside. And so I think for me to progress as a person who suffers from severe mental illness, I need to come off antidepressants.
if you are an anxious person, you have anxiety, and you often have anxiety in your body, like physical anxiety. I wake up a lot with physical anxiety. You need this. You need this. This is called propranolol. I think it like decreases your blood pressure. Yeah, it decreases your blood pressure. I literally take one of these teeny tiny pills and my anxiety gone. Not the mental anxiety so much, but your physical anxiety where you feel like your bones are like chattering, that gone. So ask your doctor for propranolol. I literally just take 10 milligrams only when I need it. And it's a miracle. It is a miracle for anxiety. I wish I knew about this sooner.
It has officially been 1 week since I have been off of my antidepressants. I've been on this shit for 19 years. And for my personal journey, I knew this was time for me to really get off of them because I'm not afraid of my pain anymore. I'm not afraid of what lives within me. And I have all of the tools and the most amazing support system to really walk this path now. And the last week, I've experienced a plethora of withdrawal symptoms, a lot of brain zaps, a lot of shakiness, lots of nightmares, lots of like dense, dull, like really low energy that I can feel coming out, nausea, all the kinds of good stuff that your body has to go through when it gets off of this shit. Anyways, the last week for me has been beautiful in a lot of ways, really intense, but I've been feeling emotions. Like I've always been a very emotional person. I mean, that's the reason why, I had to go on these things was I was feeling too much and I didn't have the tools or resources or the support to really understand what was going on within me. But I've been crying at so many things like hit me. And before, it's so interesting to observe myself feel these little emotions because things like that were similar to like what I would be crying about this week would happen in my life, and I would never cry or feel connected to it. And I just feel deeper. And my boyfriend and I have been together for 6 months, but he goes to me this week. He was like, babe, I can feel you now. And my friend calls me. She's like, dude, you just feel different to me. She's like, I feel like I have access to you. And I'm like, oh my God, so crazy how much those things were blocking me. And I'm not saying like those are like the only thing, there's a lot of wounding that I still have to feel and I still have to love and go within. But I'm like shaking right now as I'm talking. That's another thing that's been happening to me is like, I feel myself just like getting activated more and like feeling like just these like sprouts of energy of just like I'm fucking pumped and things like that, which has been really beautiful. But just to feel things deeper and to let myself open more. And I'm just not afraid to feel my pain. I'm at a place now where like even when I'm running these programs of like I want to run away, I want to avoid this, I don't want to feel this shit, like I know that they're there because they want to be loved by me and they want to be felt by me. And so it's been 1 week of getting off of these goddamn things, and I can feel myself opening and connecting deeper. It's a big milestone, and thank you for being here with me. Let's fucking go.
Nobody warned me about the side effect of Lexapro that I should have known about, being a homebody and all, which is the newfound badass energy that I have and the urge to go out and walk around and show people that I'm the baddest bitch on the block. Like, what do I do with this sexiness? Like, depriving it from the people? No, I would be doing a disservice to the community if I just curl up in a bar and hide at home like I normally do. So what do I need to do? Walk around and parade and just make conversation with people to bless their days? I wish I knew this before getting on Lexapro, because it is a lot of work, and with great power come what? Responsibility. I was not ready for responsibility. So if you want to get on it, be warned, be aware.
week 11, 12, 13 update of me switching antidepressants, switching from Lexapro to Prestique. If you've been following along, I've been updating about my journey. So I'm about 13, I think, or 12 weeks in to this transition. So I've been on Prestique without any Lexapro for probably a month and a half or 2-ish months now. I was on 50 milligrams of Prestique, and I had last told you guys I was maybe going to increase the dose because I was still having a lot of anxious thoughts and I just wasn't really getting any sort of relief, I would say. And so I met with my psychiatrist and we did, sorry, really loud noise. We did increase my dose to 75 milligrams, and that was on Tuesday. So it's been close to a week on being on this increased dose. And I don't know if it's placebo effect or it's actually working, but I definitely do feel a little better. It's possible that I just needed a little bit more to feel some sort of results, but I've been feeling pretty good the past couple of days, and I'm super excited to see if it just keeps getting better and if my doctor wants to prescribe it to increase the dose even more, but we will see. But if you're watching this and you've recently switched antidepressants and you feel like it's not working for you, if your provider wants to increase the dose, try it before you go ahead and switch, because it's possible that you just need a higher dosage to, and not even like a high dosage, but just like a higher amount to actually feel the benefits. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If you feel like that increased dose could actually help, do it. Don't listen to other people. Just do what you and your provider think is best for you.